Dr. Vinay, you can start now. Dr. Vinay, can you hear me, Dr. Vinay? Hello. Sorry, Dr. Pranay. Dr. Pranay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
So,
you start now.
okay, sir. So, first of all, on behalf of Microbiology Society India, I welcome you all in this open discussion on research in wine technology. Chairman for this discussion, Dr. Gias Kochar sir is with us. May I request Kochar sir to introduce yourself, please? Kochar sir.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dr. Deshmukh sir, Pranay ji, then the other audience. So it's nice to be a part of a discussion on wine technology. You know, wine is an alcoholic beverage which most of the population is fond of. It has influenced not only the male society but the female society too. Worldwide, the production of wine has increased over the years, and hence the consumers. So I am a professor and head the Department of Microbiology, Punjab Agriculture University, Ludhiana, Punjab. So we do work on fermentation technologies. We have developed some technologies of wines, then vinegars, like that. So I think this seminar, today's discussion will be very fruitful, keeping in view the requirement of the country in terms of the alcoholic beverages, as well as the research which is going on. And I think this open discussion will provide a platform for us to join together the like-minded people, the like-minded scientists who are working in this area, and will really come up with some fruitful discussion. So I am thankful to Deshmukh sir. I'm thankful to the Microbiology Society of India. So we have among the different units, state units, we have also the Punjab unit of Microbiology Society of India. And I am quite hopeful that in the coming year, we'll be doing such type of the discussions, the seminars, the workshops, so as to promote, so as to develop the microbiology in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Before discussion, we will start with a brief introduction of all the participants and their common or research area related with the wine. So,
Yes,
Doctor.
Yes, according to, you see, many eminent teachers have joined also. So if they are working in wine technology, we request them to introduce, please. If their student is doing PhD or MSc dissertation, please introduce. And first of all, I will request Dr. Vinay. Dr. Vinay, please introduce. Aroskar sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm Vinay Aroskar, working in pharma fermentation industry since last 40 years. I work in Cipla, Lupin, RPG Life Sciences, Wyatt, Sterling Biotech, Fermenta Biotech. And my specialization is I work on antibiotic by fermentation, then anti-cancers, then antioxidants, and vitamins by fermentation. Then my specialization is biocatalysis of active pharmaceutical ingredients using enzymes. And I am also working as an NABL assessor. And my expertise in US FDA inspections, which I faced first in 1985 in Cipla.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Now,
you,
Dr.
sir.
Divya.
A very good afternoon to everyone. This side, Dr. Divya Tandon. I am heading the Department of Microbiology in Shulini Institute of Life Sciences and Business Management, Solan, Himachal Pradesh. And my area of specialization is industrial microbiology. And in my PhD work, I took a problem of producing bioethanol by the fermentation of softwood biomass, and same work I am carrying out with my MSc students. Thank you.
Yes. Over to Dr. Pranay again. Dr. Pranay, you request others.
Yes, sir. Now I request Dr. Nagrani Mahajan. Dr. Nagrani, madam.
Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
I'm audible, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, myself, Dr. Nagrani Mahajan. My area of specialization is in plant biotechnology, and some work I have done on fermentation technology, where I was looking for like innovative methods to enhance the fragrance oil that is there in agarwood. And during my PhD, I was working in plant biotechnology area, where I was looking for movement proteins of viruses, how they interact with each other, and how they help in spreading the plant viruses in the plant. So this is what I did, and after completing my PhD, I moved to private sectors in agri-biotech companies, and there I worked in designing and developing strain engineering for plant transformation, in developing transgenic plants which are resistant to insect pest diseases, drought tolerance, and all abiotic and biotic stress. I mean to be very specific. So this is the area which I have worked, sir.
Okay.
Thank you from my side.
Now, any other teacher working in wine technology, for maybe for MSc dissertation? Any other teacher working for wine technology, wine production? If not, Dr. Pranay, go to request to Dr. Kochar. Pranay.
Yes, sir.
So start with Dr. Kochar.
Dr. Kochar, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
So we will start with our discussion. So participants, you may ask questions. You may ask.
First of all, we request Dr. Kochar, sir, within 10 minutes, you explain the work you did in your laboratory. And then on the basis of that questions. Dr.
Okay.
Kochar, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. So before I start, among the participants, there are two scientists from my department. Dr. Pooja is there. So I would request Dr. Pooja to brief herself before I start with the proceedings.
Correct. Within 5 to 10 minutes. Pooja, you start explaining. Pooja is not there, I think.
Yes. Dr. Kishani is there. She has joined, so
Dr.
she can.
Kishani.
Good evening, sir.
So in 5 minutes, you explain the work in your laboratory. 5 to 10 minutes. Keshani ma'am.
Hanji, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello. Hanji, sir. Sir, we are working on wine making in our lab where we are using Saccharomyces cerevisiae. We have recommended or prepared wine from red grapes, especially, sir, Punjab purple. These are the grapes that are available in Punjab. Apart from that, we are also trying to prepare wine from different substrates, for example, from Sapota or Kinnu, etc. Apart from preparing wine, we are also working on its metabolomes, esters that are present in the wine, or other flavor compounds that give the specific flavor to the wine. There are different Saccharomyces cerevisiae strains that we are working on, and we are also trying to prepare a co-culture or a specific culture that we can provide to the micro wineries in the state that helps in the preparation of wines at commercial level. So there are different PhD and master students in our lab that are working on winemaking and trying to explore the different aspects of this technology.
So thank you, Dr. Kishani.
Ji, sir.
Okay. Now, sir, with your permission, Deshmukh sir, shall I? Start?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for making me participant and more as a chairperson of this session. So thank you very much for acknowledging our work. As we know, worldwide, the wine production has increased over the years. And I was going through the current data, which shows that during the 10 years, 2023 to 2033, the overall volume of wine sale is going to increase from the current 535 billion to 875 billion dollars, with an annual growth rate of 5%. If we look into the consumption of alcoholic beverages, so globally, wine constitutes 11% of the alcoholic beverage consumption, where the distilled beverages are maximally consumed. They are around 45%, followed by beer, which is at 33%, and then wine, which is 11%. But in our country, the situation is very different. The distilled beverages are consumed to the tune of 70%. 29 point something percent goes towards the beer, which is as good as with the world trend, but wine consumption is very less. It is less than 0.8%. I would say less than 1%. So the basic reason for this is that people have always wanted, or they were more interested in distilled beverages. They have not been made aware of the benefits of the non-distilled beverages. Though beers are consumed, but wine consumption is very low, and that is also mainly towards the, I would say, the cities, not in the rural area where we have around 70% rural area in our country. So in rural areas, only the distilled beverages or beer to some tune is consumed. Moreover, the Indian market has shown highest growth in terms of alcoholic beverages. During the year 2022 to 2025, it is expected that the growth of alcoholic beverage consumption in our country is going at the rate of 8% compounded annual growth rate against 1.5% in the world. So I want to convey that we are consuming alcoholic beverages. Our country is consuming alcoholic beverages, highest in the world, but the wine consumption is still very, very low. So I think the basic objective of today's discussion should be that how we can increase the wine consumption in our country. I am not promoting the consumption of alcoholic beverages, but I am just, my aim is that, or our aim should be that we should divert people from alcoholic beverages to wine by giving them the, by awareing them the advantages of wine consumption over the distilled alcoholic beverages. So with this background, I now come to what wine is and what are the areas in which we have worked and what are the potential areas in which research is required. As we know, the wine word comes from Vitis vinifera, which is the grapes, and the wine production is you can say broadly divided into two categories: the viticulture and enology. Viticulture is basically the growing of grapes, and enology is the practices, the fermentation practices, and followed by the post-fermentation practices to produce or to, I would say, or to make the grapes be converted into the wine. So these two broad categories, enology and viticulture, go hand in hand. Enology is dependent upon the good quality grapes, which are produced by the grape, or I would say horticulturists. So we have here in our university a department of fruit science. Previously it was named Department of Horticulture. So the horticulturists produce good quality grapes, keeping in view the recent changes in terms of the climate change, the global warming, are contributing towards the decline, which has been seen, the decline in the grape quality. Because for the wine to produce, we need grapes of good brix and good acidity levels. So that basically brix over acidity, that is the key to crush the grapes into wine. So that is the part of the horticulturists or the fruit scientists to make good quality grapes. So research is needed in that area. We in our university, we have an ICR sponsored project, which is an EQUIP project, All India Network project, with its center at Pune. Hello. Hello. Okay. So for the past around 15 years, we are evaluating different varieties of grapes which have been provided by the Pune Center, which are being grown or which are being cultivated in our university, both at Ludhiana and at some other regional research stations like Abbohor, Bathinda. So where they are being evaluated for their quality grape production. And simultaneously, we are using those grapes for the fermentation, into wine. So this is one area which requires a lot of research to produce good quality grapes in the wake of the climate change, the global warming which is there. And secondly, being microbiologists, we are more concerned with the you can say post-harvesting of grapes into wine. That is the fermentation part. And there are various type of beside grapes we are using. It is very important that depending upon because grapes, they require a temperature of around 15 to maximum of 35 or 30 degree centigrade. That's why the states like Maharashtra and some adjoining states, and in the north, the Himachal, they are producing grapes. But in Punjab, we don't have a very good quality grapes. Normally the Brix levels, then they are increasing. So simultaneously there are rains and the Brix drops down. So we have to harvest the grapes at a, I would say, level where the Brix has not reached at a level where we can harvest them and convert it into or ferment them into wine. So normally we have grapes with maximum Brix of around 17 to 18 degree, whereas for quality wine production, you need grapes of 21 or 22 degree Brix. So this is one area. Then once we get good grapes, then the question is that because it is a seasonal crop, one is that it is crushed in the season and used throughout the year. And secondly, it can be like you can have consistent production of, or you can not consistent production, rather you convert them into some type of concentrate and then use it throughout the year. So that is the very important, because that affects the quality parameters, the biochemicals, the bioactive compounds of grapes. So once you have produced the juice, then it is very important that that juice quality should be good enough to ferment. And many times when juices are turbid, you have to add some type of antimicrobial compounds or some enzymes to make them haze-free, and then the Saccharomyces cerevisiae that is employed for fermentation. And another point is that in European countries, they are using the grapes as such without inoculation of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Rather, they allow the original fermentations to start with the yeast like Brettanomyces or some other resident yeasts. And then when the alcohol concentration approaches around 5% or so, then the Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used. And that's why the quality of wines which are produced in European countries, they are very different from the Australian, the American wines, and the Indian wines. So that is, I would say that many times people say that the wine produced in India, that is not as good as this. This is what I have witnessed. I have come across that when some people from America, Europe, tasted my wines, they said that it is not as good as the French wine or the Italian wine. Reason being, their grapes are very different and their fermentation protocols are very different. So that's why they are accustomed to those type of tastes, whereas the taste here in India or in American or Australian countries, it is very different. So then when you are adding the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, then it is very important the pitching rate. Many times there is a stuck fermentation. Fermentation doesn't start, or it gets stuck within the course of the fermentation. So the reason, there are many reasons that also need to be discussed or during this open discussion. And once you get the wine, that is the green wine, though it has approached an alcohol concentration, but it has to be it has to be post-fermentatively treated, either by racking or by putting them in oak barrels, or many types of treatments. These are also very important in terms of the consumer acceptability. Now, this is a very important point of discussion, that we need to have a uniform pattern in this regard. So in terms of the post-fermentative treatments, the phenolic, what type of phenolics are there, and then other bioactive compounds which are reached, and also the improvement of taste, because this is a product, wine is a product which is directly related with the consumer. So consumer acceptability is very important, and consumer likes a wine which is good in phenolics, which has good esters, which has a good amount of acidity, like that. So that can be enhanced. That is another point, as Dr. Kishani was discussing, that we are working on metabolomics. So that is our objective here, to increase the content of the bioactives, particularly the volatile compounds, particularly the esters, so as to increase the consumer acceptability. Like we are using the fatty acids, like linoleic acid, linolenic acid, oleic acids, to increase the ester content. And then we have a DBT sponsored project in which we have to study the metabolomics of the wine, so as to improve upon the consumer acceptability. So these are some points which are needed to be discussed, which require a brainstorming, I would say, to have the solutions. Then besides the grape wine, we are also working on fruit wines. So fruit wines is a very important area which has not come up among the consumers. I would say people are producing fruit wines, particularly in Himachal Pradesh, from various type of fruits. There are resident fruits like strawberries there, then cherries are there, then even apple. Apple cider wine, that is apple cider or apple wine, that is very tasty, I would say. That is also appreciated by the consumers. And we have every state which has its own fruits or specific fruits, I would say, as we have guava or we have quinoa. So they should be our target to increase, to produce wine and to increase their value or value addition. So that we are working upon. We are working upon the quinoa wine. We are working upon the guava wine. Then another is the mead, which is the honey wine. So this is also a very, it has a good potential. It is a very new area, because only one meadery which produces honey wine that is there in our country, and that is based in Pune. So that is the Moonshine meadery. So there is no other meadery, though Moonshine has its branches now, or it is selling it across various metropolitan cities, but still there is a lot of potential, in particularly in North, in Punjab, a lot of honey producers are there, and these type of fruits or other sugar content, high sugar content, the substrates, they can be converted to wine. So now I hand over this platform to Dr. Pranay, so that we can start with the discussion on various aspects. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now we will start with the discussions. So participants, they are requested to ask the questions. So in chat box, Amrish Sindagi has a question. His UG faculty of microbiology, and they want to give projects to BSc students related with wine production other than grape wines, and they want some suggestions from you, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Amrish, I read your question in the chat box. This is a very good attempt which you are making, that you are assigning the projects to BSc students, because in our country now there is a need that the students should not be job seekers, they should be job creators. So if you provide them a good, I would say, venture to start with, so they will be very good. I share one of my experience. One of my students, he did his MSc on apple wine, cider, and apple vinegar. So he started his own, and he was so influenced with the product that he started his own venture in Gurgaon, Delhi. So it's very important that we give such projects to the budding students. As I said earlier, the objective should be the utilization of locally available fruits. And Dr. Amrish, you are from which state? Dr. Amrish? Hello?
I think
Anyway.
sir has not joined, I think.
Okay. No, I think ASG stands for Amrish Sindangi. So he's there. But anyway, I just wanted to know the state to which he belongs so that I can. But anyway, as I said earlier, the fruits, they require some pre-treatment. They require the harvesting at a proper stage of Brix and acidity. So or I would say the maturity with highest Brix and good amount of acidity, that is to be looked into. Then how you have to produce their juice, whether the juice requires some treatment with the skin, as with the grapes. With the red grapes, we provide the skin pre-treatment so that maximum amount of phenolics can go and tannins can go into the juice. So that is important. And then once the juice has been prepared, how you are going to treat the juice, that is again fruit specific. And the fermentation, though Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the sole strain which is used at industrial level for wine production. So more or less the strains, similar strains, they work upon different fruits, but sometimes some strains, they are important. So you can give your students the evaluation or the enrichment of different type of yeasts for the good alcohol production, and followed by the good post-fermentative treatment, whether you require their storage in a particular way or a particular temperature, you require any type of enzymatic treatment, or you require some treatment to control the acidity. If it is more acidic, then malolactic fermentation is employed. So many things are there which are, so there is not a set protocol which can be shared, but it has to be adapted, keeping in view the various criteria which I have discussed. Anyway, you can discuss with me. My email ID I will share. Then there is a question from Dr. Rakesh Kumar Pandey. Sir is from Jhansi. So it says that India is known to produce tropical wine, means we used to produce hot wine. Sir, what does hot wine mean? What do you mean by this hot wine? Dr. Rakesh, can you elaborate this hot wine?
Dr. Rajesh, sir. I think again, Rajesh sir is not there.
Hello. Hello. Hello, Pranay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is there no question?
So one question in chat box is there, as fermenting strains used for production of wine is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, but it consumes only hexose sugar, but for consumption of pentose sugars, we need to make use of other cultures like Candida and other species. So this is from Dr. Divya Tandon.
So question is asked by whom?
Dr. Divya.
She, okay.
Doctor? I can't see the question. There is one question from Dr. Vinay Aroskar. In Maharashtra, few wine manufacturers use pineapple, cashew apples, jambur. So that's what I said, that as per the need of the state, they can produce any type of fruit wine can be produced. It is allowed by the under the FSSAI Acts also. So fruit wines can be prepared. Then by Dr. Divya Tandon. The question is, as fermenting strains used for production of wine is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, but it consumes only hexose sugars, but for consumption of it, we need to make use of other cultures like Candida and other species. That's right, ma'am. Normally in fruits, the pentoses are not there. We have only the hexoses, but for pentose, we can have a different type of yeast, as you have said, like Candida. So these can be used. Pardon?
Pardon, question. Okay, there are two more questions in chat box.
Dr. Divya, can you please discuss this question with me? What do you want to actually ask?
Yes, sir. Actually, you clarify my answer. Actually, what I want to ask, like for the fermentation processes, we use mostly Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
Yes.
So it is correct, like in fruits, mostly this hexose sugars are present. So
yes.
Saccharomyces cerevisiae will serve our purpose.
Yeah,
we need not to make use of these.
Because when you are using when you are producing bioethanol from lignocellulosics, then
Yes,
you
sir.
have the problem of pentose sugars. There
Yes.
You use the Pakisolan or Candida or some other type of strains, yeast strains. But
Okay.
it's not required for.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Divya. Then this question from Nivedha. Good evening, sir. I am Nivedha. I have a doubt about the source of wine, sir. Why are we still using grapes itself? Why are not the use of other fruits kind of common nowadays, even after such a long time? That's what, ma'am, I said earlier, that we need to promote the fruit wines. Not many fruit state-specific fruits or region-specific fruits are there, which can be employed or which can be processed for wines, and it is very important. Now the fruit wines are coming up in the FSSAI also. There are specifications for grape wine. Separately, there are these specifications for fruit wines. So they need to be promoted.
Yes. Any more question?
Good afternoon, sir. I have one query. Sir, I want to ask, you talked about the pitching rate, that in Saccharomyces cerevisiae, pitching rate is very important. Sir, kindly tell me that what's pitching rate like?
What about?
pitching rate, sir. So you told about the...
Yes. This is basically the inoculum size. Because once the juice is ready, it is then inoculated with the fermenting yeast. And for that, as you know, we first prepare a seed medium, starter culture, then it is added for the production. So that's why we for this inoculation, we first increase the amount of inoculum, or so that a good pitching rate can be made. Like we can, depending upon the juices, we can have like from 5% to 10% of pitching rate, or 5% to 10% of inoculum size.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions from participants? Yes, any question?
Dr. Nilima Pendarkar is there. Dr. Ketan Narkhede is there. All these are, I will say, important personality in Maharashtra.
No, sir.
Doctor, how many hours is a cycle? Fermentation cycle?
This is a very good question. Yeah, this is again.
Air is required or air is not required? Actually.
Yeah. Actually, the fermentation cycle is not a common type of thing in wine production, because it will depend upon what type of fruit you are fermenting, and at what temperature you are fermenting, and what is the inoculum which you have used, inoculum size which you have used. So it all depends on these fermentation parameters. In general, as I discussed with the grapes, so the green grapes which produce white wines, they are fermented at around 20 degree or slightly less than that. So they take more time. And if you are looking for the red wine, then red wine fermentation is at around 25 degree or slightly more than that. And that fermentation is completed in a week or so. So depending upon the fruit juice which you are taking, so the fermentation cycle will vary. So it's not a common cycle for all type of wines.
And doctor, how do you decide that to stop the fermentation cycle?
Pardon, can you repeat?
Doctor, how do you decide to stop the fermentation cycle? Which parameters you check? You check GC or you check esters or other metabolites or alcohol?
Okay. Normally, the first thing is the alcohol, because in fermentation, our objective is to convert sugar into alcohol. In the post-fermentative treatments, where you can allow the storage or treatment with some type of other yeast as for malolactic fermentation, so that varies. But in the ethanolic fermentation, the objective is to produce ethanol from sugar. Are you satisfied with the answer, or you want to ask something else?
No, what are the other parameters when you decide to stop the fermentation cycle?
Okay.
Like when the alcohol is 5%, 6%, and any other parameters are there, ester or that you check? You said no ester for acceptability.
Yes. Sir, actually, again, this is different for different type of things, different type of juices. When we talk of grapes, the required, for grape wine, the ethanol concentration can reach up to from like 12 to 14% in normal type of grape wine. In fortified wines, it can go still further, but it is again a post-fermentative. So in grape wine, we start with a brix of around 20 plus 20, 22. And then the ethanol which is produced, we produce it to the maximum which it can approach. And we see the decrease in the brix. Once the brix comes to around 1 or 0, then we stop the fermentation. Then for fruit wines, the range of ethanol varies from 7 to 15%. So depending upon the brix, see, if you are using a apple for cider, then the brix of apple is around 10 degree, 10 or 11. So you have to add some sugar into it, and you add sugar accordingly, to the tune of the alcohol you desire in your product. Say if I want 7% of ethanol, then I will look for a brix of around 12 degree or so that I get a final ethanol of 7%. So by controlling brix, you can have the ethanol content decided.
So, doctor, one of my champagne manufacturer friend told me that they add that what stems of your grapes. Stems of grapes.
Actually, your voice is very low. I am not able to hear properly.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
No, now it is very clear. Yes, fine.
Yeah. So one of the champagne manufacturer friend told me that they add that stems of grape. Stems also. What do you call that? Stems.
Stems of grapes.
Stems of
grapes.
Stems means what dandi, that dandi comes na, grapes ka. That also they are adding. So some chemical is there inside. I don't remember now. He told me some 10 years back. So that gives some carpling, this one, in our this one when we drink na.
Okay.
Like that.
No, I am not very confident about why they are adding. But
it's from that
because
industry.
If we look scientifically, then in the twigs there is cellulose. So or there are some tannins also. So might be they are looking for some type of flavor, woody flavor, because otherwise woody flavor is not required. But sometimes you really depending upon the tongue feel, some type of bitterness compounds are liked by the people. So might be they are adding due to that reason.
You please leave your email address so that I will inform you.
Yes, I will add here. I will add.
Yeah, I will get information by evening. There is one more question in chat box.
Yeah, how do you test the alcohol is free from other toxin in final product, and how do you avoid frothing during fermentation process? Ma'am, actually, when you are working with the pure culture, the toxins are normally not produced if the quality of grapes is good. If there is some, like we are using some over-ripened grapes or some defective grapes, then some toxin may come into. There is no, like during fermentation, we can't test, but when the wine analysis is done, then there are requirements by FSSAI that it should be free of the ochratoxin and other toxins, and that the limit is micrograms per liter. I don't remember the exact value, but it is in micrograms per liter. So they have to be, when they market the wines, then they have to test those things. And second part of your question is how do you avoid frothing during fermentation? Ma'am, frothing is a natural phenomenon. When yeast is fermenting, I don't know why you asked this that we should avoid frothing, or you want to ask something else. And Dr. Nagarani Mahajan.
Yes, sir. I have one question. Dr. Sunil here from Chandigarh University, sir. I have one because I have written one proposal in collaboration with UK. So to prepare wine from the whatever the fruits we like in Himachal, because fruits when they are falling down and some fruits they're just can we prepare something from we are just wasting because vegetables sometimes what we do we use like vegetables in vegetables also we are removing the outer parts and other things. Some vegetables are there, they have like capability, they can produce different kind of wines or other things can be produced, like enzymes can be produced, like beneficial enzymes. So is there anything like can we go ahead with from waste to valuable product, can we use like fruits or vegetables
Dr.
can we get
Sunil, yes, I understand your question. Your question is very important in terms of the current wastage, which is being the horticultural waste, which is there. And I was surprised to learn that the horticultural waste constitutes around 10 to 15% of the total produce, which is very high. And it is very important that we have been making different type of student projects and other ad hoc projects on value addition, and this is the demand of the industry also.
Yes, because sir, I applied for this for Royals, but one of the reviewer he rejected it. It was it was praised by other people, but only one person he rejected only due to that they cannot provide funding for 1 year more. I shared my ideas with them, but the thing is that scarcity of food and other things will come in future, right? So we have to go for that. If we save something from from wasting, because a lot of wastage is there in vegetables also. We are using some parts and we are throwing some other parts every day, like everyday practices we are doing at home, kitchens, everywhere. It is I'm noticing from last 2-3 years that it is a lot of wastage is there.
I understand, but did you apply for wine production?
Like wine or plus beneficial enzymes, because because sir, when we talk about different areas, because in hill areas the whatever the production in vegetables and fruits, different like geographical distribution is there, so different kind of nature or taste is also changed, if you think like that. So in plains different types of if same thing is there, same vegetables, same fruits is there, but taste is different. And if we talk about abroad company abroad, the environmental factor also contributing those things. So I want to check is there any differences there between our Indian perspective and UK, India and other countries? If multi-centric study can be designed like that, so I would like to be the part of that. Maybe another flavor or a good flavor can be launched, or can be go for it like this.
Yes, definitely. But maybe, as you said, that one person objected to it. If you if you are wanted from waste, you are producing wine. So wine is a product, high quality product, high value product, I would say. So that requires good quality of the substrate, that is the fruits or grapes. So you can't use the defective ones, you can't use the spoiled ones, you can't use the over-ripened ones. So they have to be checked with respect to their maturity level, with respect to their breaks, with respect to their acidity, which changes once it is spoiled or disfigured or discolored. Then
but can
you can definitely produce.
Yeah, But can we get, sir, enzymes, beneficial enzymes?
That's what I am saying. But if you are like looking into industrial enzyme production, as Nivedha ma'am has also written, bioenzyme production can be done. Even we also worked on we utilized this was a DST sponsored project. We utilized the potato waste for the alkaline protease production. So definitely these projects are given. I don't know why or there was some reservation why you didn't get, but definitely we can produce industrial enzymes out of it. We can produce some type of fertilizers out of it. So not many things can be, but our objective should be the value addition of the waste so that we have a zero waste technology.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the clarification and your answer. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Pranay, now I think
sir.
that we should. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello. So only I request Dr. Kocher to write your mail ID in chat box.
Yes.
So that all others can note it down. And if they are having any query, they can contact you by mail.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Dr. Pranay, now you can conclude.
Yes, thank you so much, Kocher sir, for giving information about the research in wine technology. Thank you so much, all the participants, for actively participating in this discussion. Again, I would like to say thanks to our enthusiastic leader, Dr. A.M. Deshmukh sir, for giving this opportunity to conduct this discussion. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And very good. Dr. Kocher has given his email ID as well as he has given the cell number, because we request always for an email ID. We never force to give the phone number, but he has given the phone number, very nice to us. Anyone can contact him on the phone or on the mail. Thank you all of you for joining today's discussion, and it is available on the YouTube. We'll circulate YouTube link very soon. Thank you. Thank you very much.